That's what we're taught. That's how it ought to be, cause truth don't change. And law is a part of me, where wisdom is the consciousness of the art that man ain't gotta want. That's how it ought to be. That's what we're taught. That's how it ought to be, cause truth don't change. And law is a part of me, where wisdom is the consciousness.
It's love, peace, love, peace, love, peace, love, peace and hair grease, something like that they used to say. No, I'm just peace and love, family. Welcome back to another edition of Moorish World TV. We're gonna talk about something today that it's been pressing on my mind just a little bit. I don't really get too caught up into this political thing, because I believe that without our unity, all these people will be able to do what they want to do, when they want to do, how they want to do it. And until our unity comes, you know what, looking at the problem is not really going to do nothing until we come together. But I've been watching some things, and I've been looking at the news, the CNN and all that, and man, I see, man, I say, that's right. I've been looking at the news. I've been seeing all this stuff going on, and I'm saying to myself, hold up, man, what is the plan? It looks like something is unfolding right before my eyes. You know, I remember the show that I had with brother Ali Bey and Grimion Ill and Where Ill, and we was talking about, did Obama fail us? And my thing was, no, Obama not necessarily failed us, but I believe that he could have done a little more than he did. And now we look at Trump, and Trump go in and just flip the table of what Obama put on the table, and now he's about to take us somewhere. And so what I did was I thought about a few people, and I made a few calls, and I called my brother Ismael to see if he wanted to talk about the topic, because I'm pretty sure that my brother is he's well versed on multiple of topics. And so I called my brother Ismael, and I said I would like to hear his opinion on where Trump is trying to take us, and what is Trump. And when I say us, what is he trying to do? What does he have in plan for the Moors? Where he trying to take us? What's going on? And so with that, let me first and foremost, let me rise and give praise to the great God of the universal law. Let me give honor to his noble, illustrious prophet Noble Drew Ali. As I always say, you know, matter of fact, me and Brother Ish had a conversation earlier, and I was telling Brother Ish, I said, you know, even if a person do not really subscribe to the total teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, that we should honor Prophet Noble Drew Ali as one of our own. And we should not worry so much about the parts that you may not subscribe to, but you should be focused on the parts that you can subscribe to. I mentioned to Brother Ismael, Brother Ismael Bey, I say, you know, when we look at what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali did back in the teens of the 1900s and the 20s, that it was revolutionary. You know, he taken a people that was subscribing to terminologies as black, Negro, colored, and these things. And he was taking people that was also had their sights set on going and getting this European education so they can compete. And here he comes, 1913 up into 1929, saying, okay, yeah, get that European education, but this is who you are. And this is who you need to be. Now put this fez on your head. He is telling these people that is unfamiliar with their history to you wear this. This is your national headdress. You know, this is a headdress that signifies royalty, the light. And these people, our people back then was fully ready to support and roll with it. So in today's world, you have brothers today that won't wear fez through the mall. You have sisters today that would not put on a turban today. And the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was so revolutionary that he had inspired our people to try something what they thought was new, but we know it was the old time religion. And in today's world, you know, to not take that into consideration of how revolutionary this brother was back in the 1920s is a disservice to what God can do for people. It's a travesty. But nevertheless, we look at our grandmothers. I mentioned the brother Ismael Bey. We look at our grandmothers, and our grandmother might have put the iron on the stove. Put the iron on the stove, heat that iron up so you can get your clothes on to go to school. Or she might have had to put that hot water in that big old bag so she could heal grandpa or your leg or your back or something. But now today we can plug the iron up. You know what I'm saying? And the iron don't work. We take $15, $20 and go get another iron. But do we look back and look down on grandma because how grandma did things? No, we don't. We honor that. We look back at that and we nourish them thoughts, and we cherish those thoughts, and with the hot water bag, when grandpa back was hurting, or somebody in the family back was hurting, and she had to boil that water and pour it in that bag, burn her hand a little bit. Now we go get a heating pad, we go get icy hot and all that old crazy thing. But now, do we look down on grandma? No, we don't look down on grandma. We thought grandma was a genius, and we continue to think grandma was a genius. And I tell you, even in 2017, we need to understand that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali is a genius. He is a genius. And the things that he brought to us, we have not even used yet. And that's why I stand when I say Prophet Noble. I stand on what I say when I say, if you don't really subscribe to everything the Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught, then at least honor him. Honor him for his courage to try to bring us up out of this darkness. And with that, I say peace. And let me bring my brother Ismael Bey in. Are you there, my brother?
Peace and blessings to you, King Tahaka Bey. How you doing tonight, family?
Brother, I'm doing well. And brother, you sounded good. You sounded like new money. And I told you, he's a smooth talker, but we got him now. We ain't gonna go toe-to-toe with each other tonight. We're gonna deal with this Donald Trump tonight. See what I'm saying? So, brother, come on and talk to the people. Let them know who you are, because don't everybody know who you are.
Oh, man, King Tahaka, you stay turned up. Oh, boy, you stay turned up, bro. It's all good, family. Yeah, definitely. Brother Ismael, definitely want to thank you, Brother Tahaka, for allowing us to come on the platform and just to share and espouse some information and just to build this family.
I know I like cut people off, but I like cut people off because I want to check the Chad Chili. Chad Chili said grandma also ate chitlins, but when we was talking about the healing factors that grandma was given, the hot water demonstration was a healing ailment, to heal some ailments. You know what I mean? The iron was to make you look sharp to go to school. Chitlins kill you. So don't compare chitlins to the analogy when I'm talking about honoring our grandmother as well as our ancestor, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Come on, put some love in your heart, my brother. Come on, Chad Chili, cut it out. Put some love in your heart. Talk to me, Ishmael. I'm sorry, my brother. You know how I do.
No doubt. I love that analogy as we were building earlier today. I love that analogy of what you were using. And I think it's so profound and definitely accurate because, again, even within the protocols of the Nation of Islam, that's exactly what we have. We have a protocol. There's a right way and there's a wrong way to even disagree with someone. And sometimes you need reminders to make sure that you're back in line with, even if you disagree with someone, that you do it in the right way. So yeah, the work of Prophet Noble Drew Ali is so worthy of honor and so worthy of respect. And so that's something that we should always keep in mind to make sure that we're not so emotionally invested in our position that we overdo it, and make sure that it's being counterproductive to the best interest of Moors here in America. We're in a very select location for a very select reason, and we were sent a prophet for a very specific reason. So since he was sent to us, we have to make sure that we're honoring him properly. And even if we disagree, it should always be done in the right spirit and in the best of manners. So again, sometimes we get caught up in the passion. We're all warriors, so sometimes that side of us comes out. But let's make sure that we rein it back in, and that we make sure that we stay on the same page. Because at the end of the day, we're not enemies of one another. We have an open enemy, and we have someone who wants to eliminate all of us. So when you bring up a topic like Trump, and you're saying that, okay, Moors are having a disagreement, but is there somebody else, or is there somebody else who's plotting and planning that could be to the detriment of all of us? That's a very good topic, brother. And the way that you be bringing up so many various topics, It's things that Moors have to address. And this is just one aspect of a very important topic that you're bringing up, family.
Absolutely, brother. And the thing is that Trump came into office, and within a week he began to sign all these executive orders. Boom, bam, bit. It's like when I used to watch Alex Jones and all of these conspiracy theory, um, all these conspiracy theory channels or platforms, and I watch them just for consideration, to take in consideration to weigh against what I know. And they would say that 9/11 was put into place for a later date, meaning that the conspiracy was that this was all put into place for the Office of Homeland Security to be developed, for them to be able to come into your house without a search warrant, for they can begin to push the New World Order ideal. And then when I see Trump come into office and he began to make these, I mean, his campaign was outlandish and ridiculously crazy when you're talking about a people of the United States that's used to sticking with the status quo and not going so drastic to the left. But he went drastically to the left, and everybody seemed to be taking it as it's a normal day in America. But what you had to say for that?
That's very, very true, family. That's very true. And, Trump is doing what he was put in office to do. He was as upfront and honest as you could be, as far as what you see is what you get. I'm giving it to you uncut. This is me. I grab women by this. I feel like this. My views are that. I cater to them. He's made it perfectly clear where he's at. And you know what? He was voted in by the majority of Americans using the electoral system, not the popular vote, the electoral system that the American public utilizes. He was put in by them. So he's showing you who he is. He's told you who he is. And damn it, he's doing what he said that he was going to do. He said he was going to come in and quote unquote drain the swamp. And that's exactly what he did. He started firing people immediately. He started enacting laws and even moving out on laws that were already on the books, so he didn't have to necessarily create new laws. He started enforcing the ones that were already on the books.
That's right. That's right.
So that's the questions that we have to be asking, Brother Chaharka. Have the laws that were on the books being utilized in our interest? Now, we've seen it being used against us, but I think it's a profound question when you ask, have the laws been used in our benefit? What do you think about that, brother?
Brother, I think this. I think while we were sitting around having a party, celebrating the so-called, quote-unquote, first Black president, Congress was putting things in order. The Senate was putting things in order. And as you say, as you just mentioned, that Trump is fulfilling or enacting or enforcing the laws that's already on the books. So the question becomes, when were these laws put on the books? And we know they started back at 9/11 and beyond and forward. But we, as Moorish Americans, even those who say that we're conscious, are not even conscious to the laws. And I'm not speaking of all. I'm just saying most what I see in my travels are not conscious of the intricate laws that will affect us or could affect us down the road. I've watched some Moors pick out some of the laws where Obama said something about the Indigenous People Act or something like that. But then underhandedly, there was the other laws, that he couldn't really touch, where the Europeans was putting in place, and now Trump is actually following through. And when you look at the laws against quote unquote Orthodox Muslims, or people want to call them Arab everybody, urbanized Muslim, whatever you want to call it, people that choose to subscribe to the Sunni form of Islam. When you look at that as them being targeted, our people were running around like, well, that's them. Well, actually, they was attacking. That was the beginning of being able to attack the Islamic brand, no matter what branch you subscribe to. That was the beginning of that. So my problem is that our people, even after wisdom, we chase after folly, as the Prophet Noble Ali say, because we didn't even see, which I noticed that was the precursor to stop the revolution. When I mean revolution, I'm not talking about no bloodshed and going crazy all in the streets. I'm talking about for the true change to come through the paradigm of the Islamic or Islamism thought. You follow me?
See, and that's where I was coming at. I posted them last week. Don't get so caught up in Bobby Brown that you get lost in the people Brown. See, don't get lost that the brown people are being waged. There's a war being waged upon them. So as you accurately pointed out, under the banner of immigration, because that's the banner that's being waved, is immigration.
Right.
The real war is on Islam itself. And it also exposes the hypocrisy of Islam. You have a Saudi sheikh flying 80 of his falcons on an airplane, while there are Muslims being arrested and in handcuffs at the airport.
How about
so he'd rather fly 80 of his special falcons on his plane instead of saying, forget the birds. Forget the birds. Let's put human beings on here and fly them where they need to go. So the Arabs, the Saudis, care more about the dollar over Allah. That is their God. And they're in business with Trump and could care less about Islam as a brand. So my question to you, Brother Taharka, is, are we supposed to uphold Mecca as Moorish Americans on that level when Mecca has shown such disregard for Moors and for Muslims all over the world? How are we supposed to perceive Mecca, Brother Taharka Bey?
Well, brother, let me tell you, my take on Mecca is totally different from probably the common thought. My take on Mecca is Mecca had been infiltrated a long time ago. You know, I remember one time when I first came into the Moorish Science Temple of America, I thought that Mecca was the place where you had to go, the place where you had to be. Because we learn in the 5 pillars of Islam that's, you know, we have to make Hajj, you know. Until I got deep into the lesson of the Moorish Science Temple of America, I understood that a little bit deeper than just jumping on a plane and going into Saudi Arabia. But I read a whole bunch of books and a whole bunch of material that even back in the day, there was racist Muslims that lived and that traveled to Saudi Arabia, to Mecca. I remember Dr. Khalid Muhammad used to say, one of my rest in power to brother Dr. Khalid Muhammad. I remember him saying one time, wherever you go in the world, you had, and he used the term black, that you had the black lower class and the white upper class. And those are the terminology he used. He said, if you go into Mecca, you will find the black on the bottom, the white on the top. If you go into such and such and such and such, you know. And so I've always had a concept that Mecca had been infiltrated as it relates to Saudi Arabia. Now, the beautiful thing about it is that the Prophet Noble Ali tells us that Chicago is our Mecca. That's the beautiful thing about it. And that I do not subscribe to I subscribe, and it's just me, my brother, and this is not Moorish science. This is a brother Taharka Bey saying. This is brother Taharka Bey saying this. I've subscribed to the phenotype that looks like me or look close is to the original African. Now, I'm not saying that pale skinned Arab don't have any truth. I'm not saying that a pale skinned Arab is not a true follower. I'm not saying that at all. But my preference is I leave that stuff over there because I already know that it has been infiltrated, it has been compromised. And it's not the Islam that the Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, brought. I already know that. So I don't even get into that. You know, if I have my brothers or my sisters that subscribe to that, do your thing, you know. But me, man, my issue and my problems are right here. My Mecca is right here. You know, and when we get into the deeper science of Hajj, it's from the outermost part of your being to the innermost, to the most center point of your being that we must travel to. But that's another conversation. So the answer to what you're saying is that, personally, me, brother, I don't subscribe to any of that stuff that them Arabs talk about. I have a prophet. His name is Prophet Noble Ali. He breaks down that stuff and give it to me in a way that I can understand, and I can use my own thinking to know without a doubt or contradiction is that those brothers that call themselves Muslims in Saudi Arabia are not for carrying out the will of Allah. That's just me.
And when you say that, you're saying that there's no disrespect to Prophet Muhammad. You can still recognize him as a prophet, but you're saying that they're the way that it's represented in modern Arabia does not even reflect the original intent of Prophet Muhammad himself.
That's what I'm saying, my brother. What I'm saying is, if we look at the life of Prophet Muhammad, we look at the same thing we see in the Prophet Noble Ali. The same thing, whether you believe in Jesus literally or figuratively, we see that same Jesus. We see that same Buddha. What you see in Saudi Arabia right now, you don't see that. You don't see that at all. If you can go on YouTube right now and you can Google YouTube in the search engine or on Google and put in dark-skinned Arabs or black Arabs, and you can see that our people that look like you and I are living in less satisfactory conditions in Saudi Arabia right now, while the light skin or the pale skin, they're living high on the hog, and they probably eating the hog. Got wine, doing all of those foods. So I don't give them no credibility in my book.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm locking arms with you to let them know that the Moorish wall is very, very strong. I concur 100%. I'm not surprised that a Saudi prince would rather fly his 80 falcons on a plane and fly his birds as opposed to even caring about any Muslims in an airport. So I'm locking arm in arm with you, brother, and I support you 100% with that. Now, what Trump is offering is this. There was a video that I posted up about an hour ago. It was a preacher, one of his handpicked preachers out of Ohio. Right. This preacher states that Donald Trump has supporters that are in Chicago, gang members in Chicago, and that these gang members in Chicago have reached out to Donald Trump and said that they would like to meet with Donald Trump in order to stop the escalating deaths that are taking place in the Chicago area. These street gang members would like to talk to this preacher in order to reach out to Donald Trump so that they can then work together to put programs in place to replace the escalating violence that's taking place in the Chicago area. Do you think that this is something that they should, that you would encourage happening in order to say, you know what, Donald Trump, we believe in your administration. We did not believe in the prior administration. We are reaching out to you. The preacher did not reach out to them. The preacher said that they reached out to him and said that they would like to reach out to the Trump. Trump has said, when the preacher told him that, I encourage this type of dialogue because if the federal government has to get involved into Chicago in order to stop this violence, it will not turn out very good for them. So do you encourage this type of dialogue and this type of action, or what do you think should happen. This type of action that's taking place, Brother Taharka.
Oh, my brother, I think that, man, I'm the type of person like this, and I'd like you to answer that too. I'm the type of person like that. I believe in self-sufficiency. I believe that we need to do for self. You know what I mean? I believe that we don't need the federal government to pull out the best in us. What happened is when we begin to do that, we still become, as the Prophet Noble Drew Ali calls, a beggar people. You know, we have enough talent. We have enough wisdom. We have enough knowledge. And we have enough resources. Don't let nobody fool you. We have enough resources to pull it off ourselves. The only thing we need is an organizer. We need an effective and competent organizer. See, what happens is when we begin to depend on somebody else for our salvation, they can turn it on and turn it off at will. But when you depend on yourself for your salvation, it stays going on and on and on because you have the best interest for yourself. Nobody is going to love you like you. How you feel about it, brother?
I think that the people that we can use as resources, that they can be utilized properly in order to do the same things that these gang members, quote unquote, are asking Donald Trump to do. I don't believe that Donald Trump is sincere in trying to work in the best interest of Chicago gangs. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I can't say anything other than judging him based upon his track record and based upon what the government has already done. I think that the government will collect the names of gang members, find ways to put them into the prison industry, and enslave them. That's my thought. I do. Go ahead, brother.
I'm with you on that. Go ahead, my brother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do think that we have resources available. I think that if this preacher's from Ohio, that this preacher should be working, finding avenues to work with LeBron James, who doesn't want to work with Donald Trump. Find some common ground with LeBron James and people that have a tremendous amount of money. And then LeBron James can work with D Wade, who's from Chicago, and Derrick Rose, who's from Chicago, and they can take their tax write-off money, not even their actual salary money. They can take their tax write-off money and open up community centers to put gang members to work, which then alleviates the stress and the violence in these particular cities. So, as you stated, we can organize properly with our own sources, our own wealth, our own people who supposedly care about us. And I cannot say that LeBron James has not done anything, because he's done a very good amount of things as far as educating our people. You can be more creative as far as the tremendous amount of wealth that goes through sports and entertainers, and you can put that money to work to make sure that, you know what, let's open up these community centers and let's put these people to work so that they can stop the violence or slow down the violent machine that's taking place. That's what I believe, brother.
Let me ask, so what do you think, like back to what the original topic, what do you think that the ultimate plan is with Trump being in office? Matter of fact, what do you believe that he's in office for an ultimate plan?
I don't think that Donald Trump is in office to give a damn about our people. I don't think so. I think that Donald Trump cares about business. I think that he's knowledgeable about business. And I think he's there to cater to make sure that America is economically strong. And for America to be economically strong, they have to take care of a lot of dead weight. So you either cut the dead weight because it's slowing you down, or you find out how you can kind of get this dead weight back in motion. So if you're speaking the right language, Donald Trump will be available for you, because it's going to be profitable for him to do that.
Right.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with kind of seeing it that way for a change. Being too liberal makes the public too dependent on the government. And Democrats have a tendency to overdo give to the point that they've actually made slaves of the people who are now accustomed to just people doing it for them. Whereas I think Republicans are too cold-blooded, and they really don't give a damn about any of that. And I think you have to have compassion and understand the conditions that people are in, because there was a system that put them in that condition in the first place. So by me being independent, I can see both sides of it. But I think that I think that Trump ultimately really doesn't care about our people one way or the other, brother.
So what direction that we have to head in? So it looks like, man, he putting up walls, he putting up fences for the Hispanics, so to say, the Mexicans. He banned Muslims from coming to the country. What is the agenda? Do you have any idea on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, Donald Trump's job is to push the button. That is beyond a shadow of a doubt. He pushes the button, whatever the button is. If it's okay, I told you I was going to get rid of these immigrants. We're going to shut them down at the airport, and we're not going to let them in. I told you I was going to build a wall. You know what? We're going to break ground and do it. We're going to cut off this pipeline, and we're going to open this pipeline up and get people back to work. So he pushes the button. Whether he's right or he's wrong, God damn it, he's decisive. So we're going to find out one way or the other if he's right or if he's wrong. But God damn it, he's decisive. And I can respect that even if I disagree, because I'm going to disagree with you when you're wrong, and I'm going to call you out on it, and I'm going to rally as many people as I can to shut your ass down. But I respect it. And he's decisive. So he's been in for almost 3 weeks. He got his little mini vacation in. He's been pushing buttons left and right. And he's been utilizing the executive order. Brother, what is your viewpoint on the executive orders that's been coming down the pipe?
You don't want to hear mine. You really want to hear mine?
This Moorish World TV, we got to hear what Brother Tahaka Bey think about it, brother.
I like the way you dialogue, brother, because you expound and then you give me a question and we go back and forth. But if you want to hear my viewpoint, ask me a question one more time. What did you just ask me?
Yes, sir, brother. I'll be happy to repeat it. What I asked you was, brother, what is your take on the utilization of the executive order? Donald Trump has been pushing the button for almost 3 weeks now. What is your take on the use of executive orders?
All right, brother Ismael Bey, I'm going to give it to you just like it is. I told brothers and sisters here on Moorish World TV that Barack Obama could have done more. Brother was on the channel, told me that Barack did all he could do, that we need to do more. I said, nah, he has an obligation as a president who was elected by the people. Whatever process that may be, he has an obligation. And with that obligation comes responsibility. He has a responsibility to the people. What am I saying? People was asking, they were saying that, okay, well, we need to get ourselves together. I'm like, no, let's not beat down the people so much. Let's hold up. Let's look at the responsibility of those that we put in place. I'm going to get to my point. Work with me. The responsibility of those that we put in place is this. You are saying something that I like. You are very eloquent in what you're saying. I believe you. Now, because you're doing such a wonderful job of convincing me of this change that you're talking about, I want to put you in office so I can get some of this change that you're talking about. Now, once we get into office, everybody gave my brother, love him to death. That's my man. Don't get it twisted, but I'm in a place where I can still critique my brother. Love the brother, love the family. Think they made the president seat look hip, slick, cool, and intelligent. Oh man, they took it to another level. However, I still am in a place where I can critique my brother. Now, we seen that our brother was in office. I don't recall any executive orders that would affect us immediately. Not one was enacted that could affect us immediately. The Trayvon Martin situation. We could have had something, I don't know what, some sort of executive order. The Michael Brown situation. We could have had something to go to police the police. At least police the police. We could have had something. But now here we go. We talk about Donald Trump now. Donald Trump comes into office. He campaigned. He tells you what he's going to do. He said, I'm going to put a wall up here. We're not let these people keep coming up in here. We're going to get all these. He said he's going to get all the Muslims out of the country. Now, we know that's impossible. But he said we're getting them all out the country. Guess what he did? In 3 weeks, he stopped all flights. He said they're going to build a wall. They're going to pay for it. They got people out there right now, as we speak, taking measurements for the wall. You mean tell me that Barack Obama could not do an executive order to take us to the next level in one way or another? Not one. Within 3 weeks, Donald Trump used the executive power. He used his executive power to do what he wants to do. And not only him, we know he got the bankers behind him. We know that he got the Rothschilds behind him. We know who he got behind him, but he used the office. See, the presidency is not a person, it's an office. It's an office. He used the office of the presidency to enforce what was already there. Why wouldn't a brother that looked like us just give us a little bit leeway, just a little bit? We in the race. This European has had us in slavery. This European has had the ups on us. This European has got the jump. He started the gun, pow, he took off. We was in chains. He take off running. One of ours catch up, whether it's figuratively or literally, whatever. And you mean tell me that we couldn't get one executive order to put us in the game? I just want to get in the game. But now here we go with Donald Trump. He takes an executive order and he put the agenda of white supremacy in the game a step further. Because they already been in the game. He took it a step further. So when I think about them executive orders, I think Barack Obama could have utilized it for the same thing, to give us a footing. I think he could have gave us anything. He could have snuck something in. He could have slid it in the back door. And I know he did some things. Don't get it twisted. But this Donald Trump, he just went hardcore with white supremacy using the office of the presidency. Period, point blank. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's very, very true. I mean, I'm sure the people will agree that righteous diatribe that you just went through, that it was right and exact. Because brother, I'm telling you right now.
I want to say real quick, brother, y'all need to share this, because people need to hear this, man. You know, we get all dewy-eyed and we get all mushy when we talk about Barack and Michelle and the babies. Man, don't get it twisted. I love my people. I have no doubt about my love for my people. None whatsoever. But that don't mean I can't check my people. That don't mean I can't critique or criticize constructively my people. And I'm telling you that I believe that this brother should have took one jumper from the foul line. One of them ones, you know, at the middle of the game, and they said, you shoot this from the mid-court, you're going to get $1 million. He should have shot one from mid-court and sank that joint to put us in the game. That's all I'm saying. And all those that love Barack, continue to love Barack, because what he did was he set a standard. He set a standard that says to a little Asiatic boy, to a little Asiatic girl, in other words, quote unquote, to a little black boy, to a little black girl, quote unquote, that they can do it. So he set a standard. He set a standard what the family is. You know what I mean? He set a standard to give us a model. But still, don't let that standard blind you to critique what could have been done better. Because again, Donald Trump used the office of the presidency to further the agenda of white supremacy. We live on Moorish World TV on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, or come check us out. If y'all watching this on YouTube, share the link to Facebook so people can get this information. How you feel about it, brother Ismael Bey?
I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be in the midst of brothers like yourself to just keep me sharp, brother. Right and exact. I'm grateful to my mother. My mother was able to teach me. She would sit me down and teach me about Emmett Till and about the whole dynamics of what goes on. So I'm not surprised when the lady comes forward this week and then says that she lied on Emmett Till in order to get him murdered. My mother told me this at the age of like 6 and 7 years old. My mother told me about Dr. Harry T. Moore and Harriet Moore, whose home was blown up down the road from her in Titusville, Florida, for getting black people to vote. She taught me this at the age of 6 and 7 years old. I'm grateful when I hear strong soldiers like you as an adult that are not blinded and can even find balance in understanding the praise and the good works of our people, but still being able to be critical and analyze what can be done even more. So I look at what Barack Obama was able to do and what he did do. And I even look at what he did on his last day. He tried to slide into $250 million to Palestine. Donald Trump caught the check in the mail and said, stop that goddamn check. We ain't giving no Palestinians no $250 million. So the priority that I'm thinking is, why couldn't that $250 million go here? Why couldn't it go to Black America, the people who need it here? Why in the hell, for your last move, would you try to send $250 million into Palestine when that money could have gone to us and helped change our condition? Why didn't you take that jump shot? Why didn't you show unapologetically, God damn it, that you with us? In deed and action, not just to talk. I don't need to see your goddamn tears when you talk about Trayvon being killed. That we already know you with us there. We already know you can give us a pound and feel our vibration. We already know that. We need some action. And the action that you're doing is slipping $250 million into Palestine. And it wasn't going into the neighborhoods. And if you can do that as your last move, goddammit, you could have been doing that for 8 straight years. So you had the ability to take a tremendous amount of money, shift some of that funding, trim some of the unnecessary fat that the government has been using, and you could have curved some of that money into the urban communities to change our conditions, set up urban farming so that we're eating properly, so we're not digesting horrible foods, so that we can think better, so that we can grow it and get our own jobs. He could have been doing that using the federal government. Absolutely. But he did not do that for 8 straight years. And I hold him accountable for that because he had the opportunity to sign executive orders that this man is throwing out like he's Willy Wonka candy. This man has been executive crazy for 2.5 weeks.
You're right, brother. You're right, brother. That man, I'm telling you, that brother Barack, man, that brother was smooth and is smooth. I love the family. That brother is my man. Something. Y'all may have seen the show with me and my brother Ngozi on the show. And I was cutting Ngozi off. I was cutting Ishmael off. Y'all see Ishmael on here today, right? Brother Ngozi, he can pass the link to Ngozi, and Ngozi can come on here today, right? Lord Abba, type of way, but that interview, Lord Abba, he can come on here today. There's something about me that's in me that I choose the love of my people over the discomfort of how they move sometimes. So the way you move make me uncomfortable. I get that. But first and foremost, you are my people and I am your people. You know, we should never ever let our criticism, as long as it's constructive, make it divide us. As I said, you know, and Gozy, my man, he can come on here right now and we can chop it up. But we went toe to toe, head to head. Me and Ish went head to head. But when we're talking about that on the same lines as the presidency, it's the same thing. I don't agree that Barack did all that he could do. I had brothers on the show saying, man, he did everything. But every time he put a bill in, they knock it down. My thing is, as Brother Ish just said, that Donald Trump, you know, he do that. He did his demonstration. That's the degree right there. They do that degree right there. you know, he did. That's my man. Donald Trump, that was exactly, and he continued to use the office of the presidency to move where he wants to move, to put the pawns where he wants to move the pawns, so he can put the rook where he wants to put the rook, so he can and they can control the game. And all I'm saying is, we was in there for a second. I'm just saying, could we move the little pawn? And maybe it'll come out later. Praise be to Allah that he did something that we don't know about and it'll come out later. I'm praying for that one. Because surely his daughters come from the generation of slaves that have been traumatized by Europeans. Surely his wife is descended from slaves that had been traumatized by Europeans or a quote-unquote white supremacist system. Surely he understood that. And I say them because you can say, well, he's from Kenya. His mother was European. But his children have the blood flowing through their veins of trauma that was perpetrated on a group of people by another group of people. And surely he should be able to feel that pain. So hopefully behind the scenes, he made something happen. I'm going to put the number in here real quick, my brother Ish. Anything else you want to share, my brother? Let's see if the family wants to share a little something of their opinion. Maybe
well, I definitely wanted to share something with your listening audience, is that, you know, Barack Obama, you know, it's not only just his children. He himself is from a descendant of slaves also. His mother, his Caucasian mother, is a descendant of John Punch. And John Punch is the first permanently enslaved African in America. John Punch was owned by Anthony Smith. And Anthony Smith enslaved John Punch, which is the descendant of Barack Obama's mother. So his European mother is a descendant of the first slave here in America. I definitely want to put that out. I also wanted to point out.
That's heavy, brother. That's heavy. Hey, let me say it again. Brother, if you get a chance, write that in the chat. So because this is a learning channel here. This ain't no hoop and holler and walk away and get a laugh channel. Even though I hoop and holler and you might get a laugh. We want somebody to learn something. So if you get a chance, my brother, type that in the chat. That is valuable information.
Absolutely. Yeah, John Punch is the first slave Obama descended of. Absolutely. So what I would also point out is that Barack Obama, by him, one of the things that he did do was he banned the title Negro.
Yes.
So as Moors, what are some of the moves that we can make in order to enact a motion that's already been set, as far as for this next administration or for future presidential administrations? Why would you say that the word colored is still allowed, but the word Negro was banned by Barack Obama? What's your take on that as a Moor, brother?
Well, I think these terms, See, man, I get a little bit touchy when I start talking about these things. When we're talking about the term Negro, colored, Black, Afro-American, African-American, it's such a shame that we in 2017 don't even pay attention to the changes that our identity as it relates to being labeled or titled such things. It's a shame that we don't even pay attention to this. But what I think, and I wanna think this, and God willing, it's the fact. I think Barack Obama, with that degree, to give us a sign. Let's look at this. After all the criticism that I just said, let's look at the flip side. I truly believe that Barack Obama was for the change that he campaigned for. I believe that there's also a little room that you go in, you get in. But listen, this is what you campaigned for. That's nice. You'll be able to do some, but this is what's going to happen. With that being said, I believe Obama, President Barack Obama, probably was limited due to the fact that he's seen what happened to Malcolm. He's seen what happened to Kennedy. He's seen what happened to Martin. All of those people jumping those fences at the White House, they just didn't easily without somebody knowing. Somebody knew they was jumping the fence. People that was flying the little remote control aircrafts over no-fly zone, over the White House. All those people running up in the White House unsecured. Trust me, those were covert threats. And with his daughters and his wife and his own life, I think the Negro thing was to help point us in the direction of our problem. Now, once we discover that that was an issue, we have to take the ball from there and solve the rest of it. When we look at the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, he teaches like that. When the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, I'm going to give you something real quick. I hope y'all listening. Prophet Noble Drew Ali says in the, I'm going to pull it out for you. And I like to read it. Brother, oh, you don't know it. You don't know it. But I like to read to be sure. I'm going to pull out. And what I want to show is how the Prophet Noble Drew Ali teaches. And I'm going to give you this because when I was coming up in the Moorish Science Temple of America, nobody would give me the degrees. They say, oh, you ain't ready for that one. No, you can't read that yet. So I'm going to give you one. And this is relative to what the brother Ismael Bey is asking about. What do I think about him banning the term Negro? The term Negro is being banned to lead us into a direction to know that these other terms are not official or legal also. So when we look at that, at the whole, this is the Moorish questionnaire. And I'm going to take you to, I mean, they're going to be all right, though. I'm going to take you to question, let me find the question. Okay. It says, what? Okay. Question number 92, family. If you have a Moorish questionnaire, class is in session. People not going to give you these degrees, but I'm going to give it to you here on Moorish World TV. Question 92. I might lose some subscribers with this degree, but I'm only can tell you the truth. Here we go. Let's start with 91. 91 say, can a man be Negro, Black, colored, or Ethiopian? The answer is no. It says why? because man is made in the image and after the likeness of God Allah. That's 91. 92 says, this is what you need to pay attention to. What title does Satan give himself? The answer to that is God. The following question. Now, I want y'all to follow me. What title does Satan give himself? The answer is God. 93 says, will you define the word white? White mean purity, God, and God mean ruler of the land. You is who calls themselves white. Rewind this and you might catch that. And I'm going to leave it like that. Rewind it and you might catch it. But what I'm saying is the Prophet Noble Ali teaches in such a way that you have to use your thinking ability to see what's really going on. If you're just reading, you're not trying to unravel what's going on. And the book that I was reading from is a pamphlet. It's called Quran Question for Moorish American. If you didn't catch what I just said, if I just lost you, rewind it and go over it again. And inshallah, you catch it. If you don't catch it, then it might not be for you at this time. But the Prophet Noble Ali teach in that way, that we look at something and we look deeper into it, out exactly what is being said. So when you look at the Barack Obama degree of saying he banned the word Negro, he's saying something even more deep. But you have to figure out what he's saying. Did you follow me, brother Ismael Bey? Now, I just gave them a powerful degree, brother.
You unlocked. You gave him the keys, brother. You got the keys. You got the keys like DJ Khaled. You gave the keys, brother.
When I was young in the Moorish side of America, brothers would not share these things with me. And I said, the Prophet Noble Ali said we are the revealers of the light. A brother told me, an elder told me a few weeks ago, brother, you know you can't be teaching that stuff online. I said, why not? Why not? Because it was a similar lesson to that. I spit through the wire of Moorish World TV. And he said, brother, you can't do that, brother. You know, the elders ain't liking that. You know what I mean? But well,
hey, I mean that's why the Bible says, you know, you don't feed a baby steak. You know what I mean? You give a little baby milk. You know what I mean? So in our process and evolution, as far as being able to grow properly and looking for the knowledge and the information, we have to have it now. If we don't have it now, then we're not supposed to just sit on it and let the light not shine. We're at the level now where we have to start exposing the listening audience to things that are going to help them grow. And as adepts, as being in tune and on time with the message of the prophet, we have to use wise judgment and to release what we release, and to do it in the right spirit and with the right intent. You releasing information is in the right spirit and for the right intent. So it's not to manipulate anyone, not to abuse or to take advantage of anyone. It's to open the eyes of the people, to let them know the president has done this and he did this for this. You didn't do it before time. You did it on time, brother. And there's a huge difference in that. So one move was already made, and now you're adding clarity to a move that, if you know it or not, you just opened up a whole lot of eyes, because there's a lot of people that are in tune and on time.
Exactly.
He opened up a lot of others.
And yes, one thing I try to give to the people is that the Prophet Noble Ali was not some type of guy that just came with some words on the paper and just took this from here and took this from there. Man, the Prophet Noble Ali was divinely prepared, and the things that he used will open your mind up. Study it. You have to study it just as well when you go to college. You go to college so you can work to get that degree so you can take care of your family. You go to college so you can work hard to learn so you can feed your family. Now we're talking about something that can save you eternally. And we need to work hard to understand it. We need to meditate on it. We need to pray on it. We need to study it hard. We need to look at the words. Prophet Obadiah Ali is an American prophet, a Moorish American prophet. And I say American prophet because he was born on his soil. He was born on his soil. So his English, again, is conducive to unlock the chains that have been put on our mind. But you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention. My brother, I hope brothers can take a few calls, but I want to ask you one more time, brother. Not one more time, but for the last time. Last question. Do you think Trump has a plan for us as a group of people? For the Mexicans,
I think that
he has.
I think that Trump has. I think he does have a plan. I think he does have a plan, and I think that he has a plan for people that are speaking the right language. And the language that we need to get very fluent in is nationality. If you think that something's going to happen and you're not speaking the right language and you're disorganized and you're coming in, beggar people are not going to get anything by Republicans, particularly this Republican rule right here. To be organized and be speaking the right language. And if you're organized and speaking the right language, yes, I think that this is an administration that you can benefit from. If you're disorganized and you're trying to do it the way that you've been doing it, you're going to find an enemy in this administration, and it's going to be counterproductive, extremely counterproductive, because it's very overtly against you. So if you think that you can just double down on niggerdom, you're going to find out that you're going to hit a wall. You have to really understand the messages that are being sent to you in order to get in line in a proper way, not in a slave way, but in a proper way to understand that this is how business is done. This is about business right now. This is not about emotion, sounding good, looking good. Those days, this is not that administration. This is about business. So get organized, get whether it's a 501c3, whether it's just being organized in a grassroots level, be organized. Approach key people that he already has in his administration. And you know what? You'll be able to change your people's condition by leaps and bounds if you do it correctly.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think more so than ever, we need to unite in such a way that, listen, I don't know what it's going to take. I really don't know what it's going to take for us to unite. You know, we through the whole Obama administration, man, we've seen a lot of things done to our people as it relates to the young people getting shot by police. And granted, happened for the longest, but it had been plastered all across the news during the Obama administration. The news, you know. What was the agenda is for another show. It happens. It has been happening, and it's still happening. It's time for us to come together. And I say come together in such a way. I was looking at the chat, and a brother said all these abandoned houses and all these homeless people. I got the Moorish World Tour, man, that I'm trying to put on. And it's a little bit tough because our people probably think I'm trying to work you. You know what I mean? I'm trying to hustle you. You know what I mean? But at the end that I do, any presentation that I do, I am going to have a block of 30 to 45 minutes with a free seminar on how to purchase these abandoned houses, how to buy the houses from the auctioneer before he puts them on the auction block. The auctioneer starts a house at $5,000 on the auction block. He only paid $1,000 for it. That's what it means. Or 500 or less. You can get that same house. And I'm not talking about this old pseudo nonsense that you see around the internet. I'm talking about stuff that you can do in real time. Yes, you need a couple dollars, but that's what unity is all about. You need a couple dollars, but that's what unity all about. Imagine taking $10,000, getting one of those ran down houses and having it fixed up and put on the market and selling it for $60,000. Man, these things are possible. These things are possible. Imagine you knowing that they will give you some of these houses if you know how to go about getting them. And I ain't talking about selling out. Man, in some cities, they got acts of beautification, where if you can beautify the block by you being able to purchase this house or you being able to show that you can fix it up, they'll give it to you in some cities. I'm willing to do the homework. I'm willing to bring it to you live and live in color. I don't care where you at. If you're in Chicago, like I was talking to a brother today, when I come to Chicago, I'm bringing a seminar to teach about the ancient Moorish science spiritual systems. Team Noble Drew Ali. But at the end of that, I have done an analysis of the area in which I'm going to give my presentation of how they can buy these houses that have been sitting for 10 and 20 years. Fix them up. The Sister Nelson said, you should always do something that'll benefit your children. Facts. We can't do it here on YouTube. YouTube is the bridge. Facebook is the bridge so I can connect with you so you can help me. Us. Man,
and that's the advantage of what you have, Brother Chaharka. You're absolutely right. YouTube is a tool that we use in order to reach the people. And not only are you getting the opportunity to get the information of how to purchase the homes, the people who are not only giving you the information, but also has the ability to help you rehab the homes and maybe get you network with people in your own city that can rehab homes. And that alone becomes another industry of being able to get income and put us to work and to make sure that you're investing properly in Moors that are investing in you. So I'm sharing the knowledge and information with you. I'm offering my services in order to help you get your home up. And you know that your money is going to be going back into the Moorish society so that we're able to build and expand us as Moorish Americans.
Absolutely. Like, I can't wait till I get the show with my brother Woods Ill back on here. He couldn't get on last time. And me and that brother, we gonna build on this because I have a foolproof program that anybody can use. Anybody can use. All you gotta do. See, one thing I've learned about Europeans, cool with me, I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? I know their history. I know what they're capable of. I know what they will and what they won't do. It ain't much that they won't do, but I know what they will do, and I'm aware of all this. They don't bother me. They all right. They good. It's just like you here for a purpose. But one thing I do know about Europeans, I don't believe, and this is not a racist statement, it's just the way I see life. I don't believe that they're smarter than us. I believe, even on a small scale, at your job, they normally show up. They normally show up. That's one thing. That's one thing that a lot of groups of people have over us. They show up. They don't have to be the brightest. Up and get 50%. That's more than a guy or female that don't show up. They can show up selling. They selling roses on the street. The Mexicans selling roses on the street. Sign down their bag. I got 3 children. They show up with $3 to $5 with 50 of them to get that lawnmower in that pickup truck. They show up. We don't show up all the time. And that's keep us lagging behind. We
And
have
that's
to show
one of the characteristics of a Moor who's wide and awake is that a Moor is supposed to be industrious. Industrious. You're
back.
supposed to be about your business. You're supposed to be about creating business, about being about your business, about being in motion. This is an indication of life. That's the difference between being black and being a Moor. That's a state of being stagnant. That's what negro means. Necro. It means to be stagnant. A Moor is supposed to be in motion, alive. That's what a Moreno from emotion, man. And if you're industrious, that means that you're always networking. You're always finding ways to make sure that, you know what, I'm investing within myself and I'm growing and I'm alive. And you can see that I'm in motion right now. That's where we're always supposed to be, brother.
Absolutely. And in closing, I say all that to say, man, I hope y'all support your brother Tahaka Bey. In the coming weeks, I'm gonna be putting up ads where people can advertise on Moorish World TV, wherever your city is at. So long as you share Moorish World TV, I'll have your ad right in the corner of the screen for the whole show. But I'm gonna have to say, man, we're gonna need a fee for this so I can go and teach the people. I can't go teach the people on my own dime. I got some own bills myself. Dime to help me out. So if you got a little business, let me know. Hit me up at Tahaka Bey at yahoo.com. That's my old one. Yahoo.com, Tahaka Bey. And I'm gonna be beginning to put ads in the corner of the screen. Yeah, right there at the corner of the screen, right over here. I'm gonna put ads across the top of here. And we're gonna promote these ads. We're going to promote these ads. We're going to promote the ads that if you're in Philadelphia, if you sell bean pies, if you sell clothing, if you sell oil, if you sell this and sell that, we're going to have them straight across the top here. I got a program I've been testing and y'all been watching. Y'all have seen this program where I can put stuff across my screen. We're going to promote this stuff. I'm going to talk about it, and we're going to promote Moorish business here on Moorish World TV. So always share the link. Always tell people to subscribe because we want to get our people to support us. This is a Moorish world. When I named this Moorish World, I didn't name it Tahaka Bey World. I got a channel that I'm going to put up called Tahaka Bey Live where I can talk some stuff. Crazy. But this is for Moorish World. This is for our world. And if I can promote your business, come on, man. We got to work together, brother. Anything in closing, brother Ismael Bey?
Brother Tahaka Bey, for you to open up the opportunity to have Moors to be able to network, the wisdom that's coming from the comments. I want to thank the family for their comments. I want to thank them for the pre-show and the love that they showed on my personal channel on Ismael Bey on Facebook. Please feel free to join the forum, Amir Ross Squad African Moorish Scholarship. Join the Moorish World TV forum so that we can exchange information, so we're able to make sure that you're always getting the most accurate information, the fastest and the most streamlined way through Moorish World. So support Ali's, man. Support Brother Tahaka Bey. Support the brothers and the sisters that are out there doing the work to serve you. We're only here to serve you, to make sure that you're getting the best and getting it the right way. So if we make any mistakes, please put that on us, because all praise is due to Allah. He's a forgiving God. And if I fall short, I ask for forgiveness. But I want you to know that I'm always here to serve you. I'm always reaching out to my brother Tahaka Bey. I'm always out reaching out to Moors all over to make sure it's done in the right spirit in the most effective way. So I want to thank Moorish World TV for having your brother Ismael Bey on. If the family has any questions, feel free to ask them on the forum or after the show, and I'll try to get back to you. And I want to thank you again, Brother Tahaka, for allowing your brother Ismael on your show.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate, brother. You always answer the call. I definitely appreciate you. You know, I appreciate your wisdom. I want to say to my brother, Conrad, the book that I was reading from is actually a pamphlet. It's called Quran Questions for Moorish Americans. You probably can find this online. If you can't find it online, if you email me at tahakabey@yahoo.com, put your address in there and I'll send you one. Tomorrow, I'll put it in a yellow envelope. I'm a businessman. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. And I'm in the business of saving souls. Absolutely. And I want to do it full time. So I want you to get this. And this here, everybody in this chat should have one of these, because this here, we call these the keys. If you don't have one, you can find it online. It's called Quran Questions for Moorish Americans. You can get one of these. So hold one moment. Let's see. We got a caller. Islam family, welcome to Moorish World TV. How can I help you? Islam? To the night. Now, I don't know who that was. Islam? Okay. Anyway, yeah. So this is what it looked like, Conrad. And if you don't see it online, you should be able to download the questions. We're in the download age. So go ahead and grab yourself one. Look at it and read. And brother, don't read it like it's a book. Study it and challenge yourself. Ask yourself, what do he mean by that? Let me give you an example. I'm going to take a second to give you an example. When you look at this and you say, let me see if I can just grab one out, because these questions are designed to unlock your mind, but you got to look into them. Okay. When you look at that one. All right, I'm gonna give it, brother Ismael.
Yes, sir, brother Jonathan. Yes, sir, brother.
They're gonna get me for this one too, brother. But I gotta do it.
Oh man, gotta do it, brother. Gotta do it.
I gotta do it. Because I want them to know that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was a wise man. He was a wise man. We hear this stuff that people say. Was Jesus real? Was Jesus, did he exist? Conrad, this one for you, brother. And for anybody else that asks these questions. Was Jesus real? Did Jesus exist? The Prophet Noble Drew Ali poses a question in the Moorish questionnaire. It says, listen good, you might get it. If you don't, wasn't for you to get. This is how wise Prophet Noble Drew Ali was. Question 37. Some people say key 37. It says, angel give to the child that was called Jesus a holy name. The answer is yes, but it cannot be used by those who are slaves to sin. What you really want to look at in this question, angel give to the child that was called Jesus, that was called a holy name. Today, brothers say his name was Joshua, and it couldn't have been Jesus because it wasn't a J in the alphabet. The prophet was a sharp, divinely prepared prophet. And I'm gonna leave you with
very profound. Very profound.
I hope you caught it. This is what they call adapt lessons. Don't be mad at me, adapts. I love y'all. Peace and love, Ishmael. I thank you, my brother.
Peace and love. Peace and love, baby.
I'm about. Yes, sir.